Greetings, fellow Machinators. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, episode 134. Queen Repeat. What boss? 1 minute to vote on that. So, the benefit of the Diabolus would be, I would get signal chips, which would allow me to raise the gestation processors of Wendy, I guess, or low, for that matter. If I go with, what was that noise? If I go with War Queen, some of my software crashed. If I go with War Queen, I would get low to get another control sublink, maxing out sublink for robot work speed. And then Apocryton could be good for making more mechs, because I do have room for combat mechs. I have room for Bryzit to make, combat mechs of whatever type. I just haven't had the time to actually cook them up, gestate them. Hasn't been a priority, hasn't been voted on, so that's why it's been ignored. We're having a little bit of a brownout here. That's fine. So it looks like War Queen. All right. So I will try to pit the bears against the War Queen like I've done before. So we'll get an antenna and get a War Queen cooked up. Power's starting to come back online. This happens when it's very low wind and it's in the middle of the night. People have proposed that I do tox generators or chem fuel, but I'm not aiming to correct power outages, at least not yet. I don't find that it is a problem yet. So this is 2 War Queens. Let me look at this again. 2 War Queens, 8 Militors, 4 Lancers, and 2 Burners. I might want to, when they come in, to berserk the Burners, because the Burners are going to do the most damage to the Bears, to give the Bears an even better shot at killing the War Queen. So all but one of the doors are patched up. What do I forgot? Baby, baby, passive, 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 baby, passive, baby, baby. Okay, I'll do some more passives. What I'm trying to do here is to get all the possible xenogerm implants that I'm going to need ahead of time, so that there is not a case where I urgently need to calculate one, because they're all made well in advance. Right. Wendy, you ready to burn the midnight oil? Oh, she's fine. So Wendy's gonna go wall this up, send all the polar bears out that way, and then try to go and aid the polar bears in killing the burners. Because the burners pose a threat to the signal chips, or the power focus chips, I should say. Because the burners might just burn the power focus chips and damage them. So that would be bad. And then also, polar bears on fire aren't that effective in combat. More geothermal? Geothermal's a really good power source. The trouble with geothermals, I don't think that there's any geysers conveniently close. I could hit this geyser and just have a giant tunnel out to it. And that might be the only one. Yeah, that could be the only one. I could do that as a project if it got voted on. I have a lot of clothing in the stockpile. What I'm going to end up doing with the clothing is selling it. So I'm not going to just destroy it because it's worth money. Anything that you can sell, sell. Needless destruction of something that has monetary value doesn't make a ton of sense. All right, let's see if I can't leap in and get another berserk on the burners. Trying to pull them out of the fight, pit them against one another, and keep the bears alive. So I think that's enough interference. I'm gonna let this fight play out now. Let's go over. Okay, so we haven't even. Oh, hey, there's components. I was gonna say we haven't even dug into the silver area yet either. Is it allowed to be there? Sort of. Okay, there we go. Best disable that drill? Yeah, I will. Oh, whatever. So they don't dig up. The reason why it's not urgent to disable the drill is as long as there's non-deep drill work queued up, you know, the miner's always going to do the non-deep drill first, as that takes priority. So I think the burners are down, or no, they're stuck in melee. I don't think the queens are going to win this one. But it's a little bit closer of a fight than the past grizzly bear versus queens. Well, that's awkward. Random yaks. Yeah, I got a little bit lag going on. IRL on my end. There's one power focus ship. So the worry here is the fire will spread from the burners. So hope that that snow kicks on and prevents me from losing a power focus chip. How's Scorpio doing? Mostly happy. He's drunk. He's full of good food. Well, it's been really lucrative to dig towards the silver, because it's been compacted machinery and steel, which I would not have known about otherwise. It's still not snowing, though, so I'm a little worried for this power focus ship. I think Wendy might have to intervene. I'm going to have her get ready to intervene. She has water skip, but that's not even the best way to deal with it, in my opinion. When you want an item not to burn, you just skip the item away. And then, instead of having to go fetch it, you just, you know, you've moved it to you. Much easier, right? These bears, like, barely even register her as a target. Got the chips, so I'm going to have you guys decide what I do with the chips. Whether I turn them into control group chips. Well, I only need one control group chip, but whether I turn it into a control group chips or boost chips. So there's really two routes to go with them. You can either do the workbot speed, and that would be the control sublink high, which only stacks to 6, so I'm just about there now. Or alternatively, we could also do the remote shielder or remote repairer. I don't have a remote repair, no one has that yet, and I believe Mass is level 3 remote shield already. Yeah. So we could do remote repair. If you do workbot speed, I'll probably still make a mech boosting chip. I'll just have you guys pick between remote shield or remote repair. For another person that could shield or a first person that could repair. This is Stickiest's egg. And anything with strong melee damage would be a good candidate. Or any one with. So Frosty, you're female. Jack. 10% chance of inbreeding, don't care, just do it. Oh, you know what? I know why the Roombas aren't cleaning the prison cell, because they're set to bunker, not behind the walls, and the prison cell is not in bunker, so this should work. Krieg leveling up, getting nervous. Well, that's unfortunate. Could be worse. Nervous at least has the uptick of, you know... Never mind, it doesn't really have an uptick. Because of the unstable branch, I think, we also have, like, pink embryos that I'm slightly worried about how they'll pop out. I know how to edit save game files to fix it, but I'd rather not have to go that route. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Okay, workbot speed. Got it. So this is for Lo. Lo's last work group. So Lo has groups up to 6 now, which obviously I'm not going to use that many. But then if you take a look here, the global work speed of these guys, because they're under the booster, and they're also controlled by a high-powered Mechanitor, 36% from the Mechanitor, 150% from the booster. They work just a lot faster now, which is really fortunate because there's just a lot more work to be done on a daily basis now. Still working over here. There we go. We'll have a silver point. Miners are mining back into the mountain. And Evie is ready to get scanned. Good. Prediction. Will I get a good gene from Evie? Like, a good gene would be one I keep. 2 minutes to predict on that. Look at all of these corsets. 41 now. We should be starting to warm up soon to allow us to sell them. Is there anyone that needs nuclear stomachs? No. Every colonist has a nuclear stomach now. Well, I'll be damned. And the prisoner we're trying to convert has a will of 0.6. So very soon that should be resolved, and we'll get them thrown into a growth vat and grown up real quick. And I'll set this growth vat to take rice as a growth. How much blood do I've got now? Oh, you know what? I have enough blood that I am going to do the painstaking change of changing farming now, so that we don't hemo farm anymore. I've got enough blood to last me like a year, unless someone punches it. And that will save Fangface and Lo a lot of time doing the doctoring. More silver scan underground. I'll take a look at where that is, see if it's convenient. Because as Mr. Jimmick points out, I am a little low on silver. I tried to spend it down, because having an abundance of silver doesn't facilitate an easier easier time doing the Wendigo project, because all it's going to do is drive up colony threats. So any opportunity to just like spend some silver to buy what we need and make the game a little easier makes sense. This silver is kind of convenient. It's kind of near the bait beacon. Okay, so here's remote repair, and this is going to go to Bryzit. Am I not already over the maximum colony threat through wealth? That's a good question. I am at about 650,000 wealth. No, that is jarring. I really should use a mod just to shut those instruments up. I mean, it's a neat little feature, but not when you don't want it to happen, right? Oh, we're bringing in the X that we wanted. And now Brexios, the 13-year-old, will is broken. So it's only a matter of time until they're subjected to join, or be enslaved, rather. Sinless Note, thank you for the resub. So if Wendy's going out there and she's not getting harassed, there is 2 polar bears left. So I'm just going to have her quickly off them so that I can lift these zone restrictions. We got great melee and reduced pain. Okay, so the answer was no, if you were wondering. Good gene, did not get. No, my alerts aren't working either. The entire program that I use for the alerts crashed. Everything is going wrong. You know, when it rains, it pours, right? That's just how it is. Alright, I relaunched that piece of software that runs the alerts, so I should be hearing them now. Let's see if it's finally warm enough for me to call in some trade. Yes, it is. I don't think that they're going to stick around on this map tile very long, because it is still super, super, super cold. But, at least they're coming. You guys are going to have to remind me to sell the genes that I've scanned. Kath, you are pretty soon. What, 1.4 days? So 1.4 days, we can also start scanning in the single-phase xenogerm. Or xenogenes. And that's cool. That's fun. Definitely excited about that. So if we're mining over here, that means everything in this tunnel is probably done? Nope, still not done. So slow. How's Olmore and Scoprio doing? Could be a little happier, but isn't doing poorly. Still getting some psychic harmony off of Wendy. Getting drunk, getting high. You know, you want to get high again? It's very funny to watch you flop. You're going into a weird dark corner. And kaplunk. The game's very generous as Cullis needs rescue. I don't think he needs rescue. I think he's off in La La Land. I think we're also ready for a bit of an egg harvest of our own colonists. So I'm going to go through the colonists that we've got, and the females are going to queue for egg harvest. Hey, Scorpio! You must have really appreciated the, you know, the royal treatment you've been receiving. I'll phrase it like that. Thank you for the gifted subs. And cheers. I'm going to have Wendy try to accelerate the egg harvest so that the colonists can, like, get back to work quickly. The only one that was on cooldown was Dave. Dave's on a five day. I cannot wait to be able to sell off all these corsets and other things that we've got. We're so full of loot right now. It's obscene. Yep, organs as well. Everything. Everything must go. One doesn't want to be a collector of this stuff. Another still site. Totally inconvenient. Way out of the way. It's been a long time since I've done a ritual. So the issue with a ritual is that there is not a good ritual to run right now because I don't have a prisoner to kill. If I had spare prisoners that I could sacrifice or whatever, I would do that in a heartbeat. There isn't one. Unless I want to kill my own. There isn't. I suppose I could open up the Ancient Danger. But I'm using that as kind of like a rainy day fund of, oh no, I really, really want to go murder someone. And we're not there yet. It's not raining. In that degree. Is there any other deep water? Oh, well, there's a little bit of deep water here, but I don't think it's deep water that I can take advantage for autocannons. Did we? Really? Steel just got scanned exactly where steel was. Double steel. It's too bad it doesn't stack. That'd be really cool. Well, it wouldn't be balanced at all, but it would be really cool if, like, it was a rich node or something like that, because it got scanned twice, so you got twice the yield for the same amount of work. In no way would it be balanced, but just thinking. Can we risk a leader speech? We could. We could do a little bit of a throne speech. I would probably want to wait to do the throne speech for when all the females are not unconscious, because they wouldn't be in attendance and therefore wouldn't benefit. And I'd have lower attendance, and it would lower the chance for a good outcome. So I'm not saying no, but saying now is probably not the time. Ryza, can you steel drop? Alright, let's just do it. Waking up in the middle of the night to rain steel on us. I don't even want steel there, but whatever. I was lazy. Did it at least replenish the steel zone? It did. Yeah, the zone up here had basically these two nodes left, so it put everything back. More or less. Because this drill was installed here. So there might have been a spot here that had... No, I don't even think there was a spot up there that had steel. So it worked. It did well. Right, females are starting to stand back up. I think... Everyone's on their feet, minus Mitty. Krabs is grown up. Chemical interest. Oh, well, that's very bad. Methinks we are not going to get some good children of this this current batch, but we'll see. The generation of underground resources is random. Enslaved. There we go. All right. So, where are you? Here you are. You're just gonna go straight into the growth vat. Nope. Don't even talk to people. I don't care if you're bio-starving. So what we're doing is we're growing her until she's 16 so we can start harvesting her eggs. Because she was captured at 13 and that's too young. But you can't grow prisoners, you have to grow at least slaves. So we enslaved her. Which is kind of against the game's rules, but she's not really a slave, she's just in the vat. So, bend the rules a little, but I think it's fine. Thomas Ross, thanks for the resub. And for hitting 2 years. Alright, let's do a throne speech. Expected quality, 96%. So it's probably either going to be encouraging or inspirational, but hopefully it won't be terrible. That's the only thing I care about. Don't be terrible. Where is it? You need a meditation spot? Oh, because Fyup is sitting on your throne? Get over it. So there's a few not in attendance. They're coming in a little late. But, yeah, whatever. Middies, hustling. You haven't seen a Hemogen bar before? It's just vampirism. So you can use the RimWorld wiki to look up vampire. So this was inspirational. And it was so inspirational, it converted Scorpio to our ideology. Welcome into the fold, dude. That means I'm going to give you Cannibal Lavish Meals. Congratulations. The flesh of man shall be felt between your teeth. Well, that's a hell of an inspiration, I suppose. He's just like, you know what? Wendy's okay. I like how she eats people. I want to eat people too. And you know what, old man? I will allow it. In fact, here's a throne. You can sit on the throne and eat people. You're my Scorpio people eater or something. So what is really interesting to me is, despite the fact that we have like 4.5 farms for rice, we're still struggling on keeping up with the rice demands. Oh, no, 4, because this doesn't have any rice on it. But yeah, the 4 farms that we have of full going rice, we're barely breaking even, which is an impressive amount of rice that we're using. This colony is a struggle to feed, even with everyone having nuclear stomachs. All of these people have nuclear stomachs. And yet, you know, we feed them constantly. With the increase of colony pawns, will I take up the idea again to keep combat pawns on ice until they're needed? No, it doesn't really work well like that. A, because when you're on ice like that, you still count as a partial colonist, so it still drives up the danger. And then B, when you pop out of the cryptopods, you're woozy, and therefore not that useful in combat anyway, because you're just, you know, you're going to be ineffective until you get sorted. So for those reasons, it's not a great idea to just ice your fighters, because they're going to fight at, you know, at partial capacity when they pop out. And we don't need no half fighters. What we'll probably do is retire old genetic lines. And what do I mean by that? Just off some of the colonists that haven't contributed genetically. Just enslave them, organ harvest them, kill them. Wendy doesn't care. She's not here to hold hands. She's here to breed Wendigo. So I'm gonna tap the geothermal geyser over there. I'll queue that up as a project to do, just sort of on the back burner. Now that she is 14 and growing in the pod, I guess it's still my priority is guard the acolyte and grow the child. Kath, what is your timer? 7 hours until you can be stuck into the scanner and ripped. So, looking at Kath, let me explain the syncophage. The top row I cannot scan. Archite genes can never be scanned, but I could start scanning these genes down here. So what would be really useful to scan? Attractive wouldn't be bad. Any of the hemogenic genes wouldn't be bad if I wanted to piece together my own vampire. So one of the things you can do is design your own vampire. And by that, I mean buy the archite genes, of which right now I have like 1. I have archite metabolism, but buy those in gene banks and then scan the rest and just like not add things like pyrophobia, which is particularly bad to have. But I also wouldn't mind scanning strong social. It's not great social. It's not as good as the high mates, but it's still pretty good. Low sleep would be another really useful one to have, because that would allow me to have my guys more productive, much like Wendy is. And then tox immunity wouldn't be terrible either. I don't think I would probably implant it. It's expensive, but it's not terrible. But yeah, I could build a Daywalker. if I wanted to, by reverse engineering and buying the right genes. Hey, Proxy, thank you for the resub. Almost a full year. Cheers. The trade caravan should be coming in pretty soon, I think. And I'm going to put Wendy on building over tailoring so that the little geothermal generator gets built. Once she finishes this corset. If I could afford, would installing nuclear stomachs in all the prisoners help save food? Not really. They're already eating half of what they would normally need. Reducing it further would help, but like, it's very marginal gains. The only reason I'm doing it in my own colonists is almost every single colonist that I have has a metabolism of like -4 or 5, which means they're eating like almost 2.5 times more than the average person. So it was just very economical to give them, you know, nuclear stomachs because of the quantity that they ate. Whereas the prisoners just not eating a whole lot. Plus, what they're eating is nutrient paste, so that's already more efficient than just cooked meals. So it could be done, but I think what would end up happening though, like let's say I did it, I would have to spend so much of our medicine removing the cancer out of them to keep them alive that I wouldn't even in the long run break even, because then I would need even more farm fields of heel root and cotton, and then I would need to go out of my way to buy Nuturamine to be able to turn that into medicine, because you can only excise carcinomas with industrial era meds, not herbal meds. So if I gave nuclear stomachs to all my prisoners, of which I have a ton of, right? You know, I have, like, how many prisoners do I have? I have 26 prisoners. Or no, even more, because I have more Edekin. I have 29 prisoners. You can imagine that's like 29 times 5 industrial meds per year for excising carcinomas. It would be, it would very quickly become relatively unaffordable. So that is exactly why I wouldn't really consider it. Alright, Kath is in. And getting scanned. Quick prediction. This will be really quick. Will I get a good gene from Kath? So let me explain what a good gene would be. A good gene is basically one that I would keep. So taking a quick look at the single phase so you know what I'm voting on. Ignore the archetype genes at the top. What I would keep would be strong melee damage, low sleep, attractive, pyrophobia, strong social, and maybe any of the hemogenic genes. And then all the others, like aggressive, super fast wound healing, side sensitive, fast runner. These are ones I do not need because I already have copies of them. Dark vision, strong melee damage. Those I don't need. Tender skin, there's no point. Like, I have no interest in implanting tender skin to anyone. I wouldn't even keep tox immunity because that's also not something that's important. It does not matter. Is there enough space to set up a hothouse for Devilstrand? Not really, because there's no soils that would really support it. I could try to put Devilstrand around where the around here where the Pollux trees are, but then I'd have to kill the Pollux trees, so that's bad. And as you can see on the map tile, because this is ice sheet, there just isn't fertile soil really anywhere. Not enough of it to bother with like a hothouse. So it's doable, it's just super, super, super low yield. And then the other thing that you have to consider is, because it would be growing in really infertile soil, or low fertility soil, Devilstrand already takes a really long time to grow. So add low fertility soil, and it takes even longer. And then what that means is any cold snap, or solar flare or anything like that that would disrupt the temperature would then kill off all the Devil Strand and I would get nothing. So I think if I tried to hothouse Devil Strand on this map tile, the chance of a solar flare hitting and just clearing out all my Devil Strand before I was able to build like campfires in the zone or like drop solar pinholes or something would be really high. So it would be like a lot of effort for me to probably get nothing most of the time. If that's a sort of a way to think about it and justify it. Devil Stranded never goes into hydroponic, so that must be some mod you're running. The only hydroponic crops are these. And the only ones that we would ever really consider for food, like there's no point in doing strawberries, potatoes, or strawberries or potatoes in hydroponic. Because it's like, why would you want an inferior crop? Rice is going to grow faster anyway. The only reason to do strawberries is it doesn't require cooking. You can eat strawberries raw. So, I don't know. I guess I could see an edge case where you grow strawberries so you don't have to cook. You can just eat raw strawberries. Nutrifungus is part of ideology. And Nutrifungus is a light requirement 0. So it's a... Nutrifungus is mostly used for tunneler meme. Tunneler meme allows you to put fungal gravel on the ground. So if you're a tunneler and you never go out in the light of day, you can sprinkle gravel on the ground to grow mushrooms underground that require no sun. So that's what Nutrifungus is. It depends on the ideology. Some ideologies hate fungus, so like we hate fungus, for instance. But that's basically what Nutrifungus is. And then Fibercorn is for tree lovers, so that you can get wood. You grow corn that's actually wood, not actual corn. And then this only has a light requirement of 30%, so that you can grow fiber corn. You can grow Nutrifungus in the dark, and in fact, it requires dark. And then you can grow fiber corn and flowers using just regular lights. So if you had a fiber corn hydroponic basin, you could do that with not a sun lamp. It doesn't require a sun lamp. Same with Tinctoria. Light requirement is 30%. So if you remember to Doomsday Vault, I had a bunch of hydroponic basins in Doomsday Vault grown with regular old lights because they don't require sun lamps. And yeah, I have done series with ideologies that run tunneler meme. I don't do it a lot, but tunnelers are so easy to feed themselves because Nutrifungus is such a highly effective food source. Because it grows in the dark and you can grow it everywhere underground on stone. Yep, you can grow fiber corn and anything that doesn't have a light requirement of 51%, which is usually edible stuff, minus Nutrifungus, can be grown on solar pinholes or regular lights. Don't require sun lamps. But potatoes, rice, strawberries, they're all 51%, and solar pinholes and regular lamps cap out at 50. Really, you can just think of it as bright light or dark light. Or dim light. So, sun lamps are the only thing that make bright light. And everything else is dim light. Even solar pinholes is dim light. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, which originally streamed live on Twitch April 2nd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Wendigos.